Hello, welcome to Before the Crowd, hosted by me, Down at 14, a young urban Zambian adult on a mission to provide a voice and space for people to discuss and explore various challenges and opportunities that come with navigating life. From current events to timeless debates, join me as we delve into the world around us and discover new perspectives. So grab your headsets, sit back, and get ready to join the conversation.
Today's episode is going to be on social media, particularly the new social media site, Threads by Instagram and Meta. Basically, let's be honest, Twitter has been on a downhill as of late. It's gone down the toilet. Twitter was the place you'd go for a crack, a joke, some nuance, a fight or two, It was for the cultured folk, the literate. And now it just feels like a basic Facebook copycat. But let's not tell Elon Musk that. So who's actually using Threads by Instagram? Well, you'd be shocked. Quite a lot of people. And your social media manager accounts are also there, pretty much racking their heads around trying to find out a new scheme of how to get people to interact with content. And as a content creator myself, I feel like having to learn this app could mean the difference between being known and being in the corner of the internet where I never get to say anything. So let's see how this new app works for people. And as an African kid, I say kid knowing full well I'm a big boy, but yeah, as an African kid, I'm wondering how this new app works for the benefit of me and people in my circle. Because when you think about it, most of us usually get on social media sites because we want to be famous, want to be known, want to be part of big communities and leaders. Whereas for me, I just look for a platform where I can speak to people and interact and share my views and thoughts on a couple of things, which isn't necessarily something a lot of people do nowadays. I'm really thoughtful and I like to procrastinate a lot. So having a place where I can shitpost, talk, and vibe is really something I enjoy. Admittedly, you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. I'm just saying. It's Down at 14. Yeah, shout out. Oh, and by the way, you can find my content on Amazon. Please hit me up there. You can also find my stuff on Spotify and Google Podcasts. Do me a big favor and share it, because hey, you're helping me out. And as a broke African dude, you'd be doing me a solid, because if this gets a gain of traction, who knows, I can give back to my community. Shout out Ireland, how you doing? Canada too, you guys are really racking up numbers. And the United States, you guys are, your economy is burning, by the way. Guys, you safe over there? Anyway, as I was saying, this new bid on social media, especially a threat to Twitter, would be really great, because Twitter has no competition really. It's a one-of-a-kind social media platform. It's for literate folks, like I said in the beginning. But the fact that Instagram is putting a foot on Twitter's neck is good, because just a couple weeks ago, Twitter rolled out a ban? Not a ban per se. What's the word I'm looking for here? Come on, people, help me out. Words are hard nowadays. Uh, Mitigation. Basically, it puts a cap on how many tweets you can read and interact with if you're not on Twitter Blue. Basically, about 6,000 or 600 or something like that. And if you get on Twitter Blue, you get over like 100,000. But initially, the idea is that most people are hating on Twitter because, hey, if you're putting a ban on what people are reading and interacting with, especially with global warming putting its heel on our neck, nobody wants to go outside anymore. It's hot. It's bloody unbearable. People love their phones, and staying inside is a luxury now. So, for us antisocial folks, putting a ban on how much media we consume hurts. Of course, we need a healthy relationship with the world, but hey, there are better ways than putting a cap on what I do on the internet. It ain't fun, Elon, if you hear me. But yeah, so, and by the way, Reddit did the same. So basically, for you to consume any media on Reddit, you have to be on Reddit or be part of a specific community. But that doesn't work either because, again, people want to interact. Social media has these clouds and bubbles that are there but not there. That's what makes the community accessible and fun. But putting boundaries like in the real world makes it hard for people to interact and enjoy certain content. It gets confusing, it gets hard, unbearable. But besides that, you realize, okay, media and content is changing. People need different ways to interact with each other and media. So, hey, what do we do? How do we find a middle ground and still pioneer ahead? Because this might be a controlled incident with Twitter and Instagram with Threads, but the fact still remains social media is changing, especially with the whole integration of the whole 3D meta space coming about with 3D visors and whatnot. You realize there's going to be a different shift in how we interact. And people are constantly chasing after that, finding different ways and means to ingrain themselves in different spaces. So now, with this happening, you have questions of how do communities then move into social media, these new forms of social media and internet.
Which honestly is a great question, one that I'm clearly not qualified to ask or answer, but as an international relations and development studies student, it's something I have a keen interest in. And hopefully, going further into the future, I can come back and answer it and see different ways around it because it's honestly interesting. Sorry, I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but still, it's very interesting. It's engaging to see, and hopefully more African people like myself and others who are in this space. Shout out CGU, Crypto Gaming United. I'm pretty sure they changed their name early this year. Yeah, they changed their name. It's Crypto Global United. But they also have a crypto university where they basically ingrain these new forms and formats of the internet into young people like myself, which honestly is incredible because you get to see this whole new world firsthand, and they go about teaching you these things with your particular interest. That's why I enrolled under social media and content creation. So now you see, if more of these schools and companies came to Africa in different places and allowed for communities to grow, you'd have the third world region learning and interacting with the First Nations and getting more inclusivity, which is also an incredible thing now that I think about it. And earlier in the episode, I know I talked about how content managers and firms are trying to look up different ways they can work with Instagram threads. That's basically saying, look, these social media platforms have different algorithms and ways of working about, and hopefully they're trying to boost engagement with people who are in these social media accounts to get more recognition, more brand buyings and whatnot. So as a content creator as myself, I'm looking to find more ways to get reach on my podcasts, YouTubes, and social media accounts so that I can have more people interacting with my sort of content so that I can further grow myself and my community and hopefully tell you new and interesting stuff. Like, did anyone here know that Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg were going to have a boxing fight? Or was it kickboxing? Yeah. And they're getting trained, and it was spurred on by Joe Rogan, which, hey, is interesting, but we don't get to talk about stuff like this in the African community, though Nigeria and other African countries are taking a bid into the boxing, kickboxing, MMA, UFC fights.
African community, though Nigeria and other African countries are taking a bid into the boxing, kickboxing, MMA, UFC fights.
I could go on and on and on, but let's call it a wrap. This has been Before the Crowd. I'm your host, Down at 14, and thank you to everyone who has accompanied me this far. And I know your headsets just popped. But yeah, you can catch me on Amazon, Spotify, Google Podcast, and the rest.